Welcome to episode 38 of PuckPod by BD Sports. This is our 2023 entry draft special and a little bit of the signings that happened before. I'm here with Dave, I'm here with Christian, and Christian and I are matching sweaters.
Very nice,
Dave,
sir. I'm
Dave, I
enjoying it
still
very
gotta
much.
drop. No problem, bro. Dave, I gotta drop yours off soon. Hopefully, I just gotta find the time. Maybe this Canada Day weekend. Boys, how was your week?
Dude, I swear, when did we last talk? Was it? I feel like it was
I
only
know,
two
but
days ago,
like,
man.
It
I think it was
was
guys,
48
yesterday.
hours ago.
but hear me out. But hear me out. Think about how much has happened to me in the past three, uh,
Yeah,
12
dude,
hours, I'd
week for
say.
you. It's been like years, decades. What you're coming out of a coma here, man.
Yes. So much has happened. Oh my goodness. And I just got my rant started. I'm so sad. Like we missed out on Bedard and now we missed out on Mishkov by one pick. And I'm happy with Leonard, but come on. Like, I don't know. At least the bare minimum I have to say is at least we're starting the draft from the US program. So whatever.
See, I was telling you, Brian. Like I look back to that 2015 year, the McDavid draft, and I did what you did. I was convinced McDavid was happening for the Leafs. I had a dream. I'm like, it's just in the bag. It's happening. And when it didn't, I was pretty freaking mad. The fact he went to the Oilers, like that was just fuel on the fire. Like how for you, which comes a flyer, and we'll get into that. And then the following season, or the Leafs tankier. I basically looked at no scouting reports, no nothing. Want to know anything to do with the draft until basically a week before the draft lottery. That's basically the only time I even looked at stuff, and that was much better for my mental. And I think, yeah, so this is maybe a lesson. But the difference here is you guys aren't going to be having a tank year.
Nope.
This was the this was the one and done. You're going to try to quickly get back into the playoffs. So that's the difference here, right?
We won't pick top 10 as long as Ovechkin is on the team. Like this is the
Somebody
first.
clip this and send it 12 months from now, okay?
It's not happening. But yeah. Let's just get right into the draft because I think there's a lot to talk about. Okay, the first shocker I'm gonna ask you guys about is obviously about Fantilli going three and Leo Carlson second. When I saw that, I was a little bit shocked because we all knew that number one was consensus. Consensus. We all knew Bedard was going one. We all knew that Chicago was gonna get their guy, but apparently Anaheim got their guy too, Leo Carlson.
I mean, I'm not that surprised. Like,
I'm
is
pretty
there
surprised.
how much of a difference is there between Carlson and Fantilli? I think it's more flavor of the month. Like it's just they're two different flavors of the same thing. They're both ice cream at the end of the day, if that makes sense. So you're getting a good product no matter what. And yeah, I'm curious what Anaheim saw in Carlson specifically versus Fantilli. Maybe it's more of a well-rounded game. I think he's slightly bigger. Maybe they think that complements their skill guys more than Fantilli. Maybe they think Fantilli is a lot of what they already have. That's all I can think of off the top of my head.
Is um is Carlson NHL ready like Fantilli is?
Carlson's
Because
NL ready. Yeah.
because that was my next question was if they think that maybe they could let him develop for one more year. Like if they don't have to bring him in right away. They had a really awful season, right? Let's not beat around the bush here. Do you want to throw a guy into a situation like that? But on the flip side, you're also coming in with a lot of like, there's what, 4 or 5 guys on that team that are maybe like max 4 years older than you. Like you got McTavish, you have Drysdale, you have Zegras, you have Troy Terry. The oldest of those guys is like 24. Um, would you like what would you personally like to see? I think that maybe that's like a factor that gets thrown into it, but I don't know because I think I think at the end of the day, after one was the consensus pick. Like let's Bedard was going to go number one regardless. But I think 1 to 4, or sorry, 2 to 4. So it's Carlson, Fantilli, and Smith. The kind of like those were the wild card picks, right? Like if you pick one, you weren't really upset if you were going to get the other. I know Will Smith went to 4, but how surprised would you be if Anaheim picks Smith instead of Carlson or
I wouldn't
Fantilli,
be.
right?
Yeah,
So
that's true.
that's the thing, right? Like I think 2 to 4 as of right now are interchangeable, but we'll see how all 3 of them grow
Too.
and develop.
The one thing that I do think that this means from the Ducks is that it's kind of a statement saying that, like, listen, we're closer to NHL ready than you guys think. They have a lot of defensemen coming up as well. Lil Carlson, I know for a fact, is a little bit more NHL ready than Fantilli, but maybe this means that he'll be competing for a playoff spot a year early or too early. Anyway, a little bit not hockey related. Did you guys see Adam Fantilli's suit or his vest?
Yeah,
Pretty good look. Pretty cool.
nice touch.
Yeah, I saw. I was like, the sparkles is kind of nice, but then when you zoom in, obviously, the names of the players and the teammates and coaches he's had in the past, not a bad look. Okay, let's talk about my
He
guy.
brought in
Huh?
I think he footed I don't know if he footed it or if that's what they said. Maybe the team might comp, like, if you're Columbus and this is your your 3rd overall pick, but he had like over 100 guests there. If you're Columbus, you're like a you're probably like almost $1 billion organization. Would you comp that bill? Like, I don't think it would. That's like a tip in the like a drop in the bucket for them, right?
I think you should have.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do wonder because you don't know who you're getting drafted by, so it'd have to be after the fact, right? So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
hey,
yeah.
we
That's
got
what I'm
you, we
saying.
got you afterwards. Yeah.
Like they paid for. I would assume that everybody who attended kind of paid for their stuff. But if I'm Columbus today, I'm saying, okay, send me like an invoice or something of everybody's expenditures, and we'll comp it.
yeah, that's a lot of seats. That's
I
a
can
lot
see
of
that.
tickets.
So
Okay.
I didn't get to watch the draft live. I was at the Jays game, but so this Fantilli stuff, he had over 100 guests there. So he basically just brought every Italian in Nobleton. Dave, is
Yeah,
that what
basically.
basically
That's
happened? Okay,
basically what it was.
okay,
Dude,
okay,
that
sick.
is hilarious because I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he did.
yeah. What I'm trying to figure out is, see, okay, this is the wrong word, but like he's like an import from. I don't know if he's an import from like our area, like Woodbridge. He's got an Italian last name, and then he moved to Nobleton. That's the
Okay.
common move,
So
right? I know a lot of Italians that have
here's
done
my
that.
my understanding is because he has also played. So the person that he was drafted onto the team with one of his childhood friends in my boy, Mississauga Steelheads legend Luca Del Bel Belouz, who
Ah,
is
yes,
technically listed as a Woodbridge-born player.
yeah.
So I'm just gonna assume, even if he's not, Adam Fantilli,
By
Woodbridge-born player.
proxy, we're taking him. We're
He
taking
is
him.
Woodbridge by proxy.
Oh,
He's
it's
a
like 15
Woodbridge
minutes
Italian.
out. He's ours, man. He's ours.
It's fine, dude. As soon as the pick went through, all the Italians in the crowd were going, "Hey!"
Let's go.
Lots of
Let's go.
lots of hair
Okay.
gel last night in that
Lots of-
section.
Hair gel popped out shirts and gold chains.
Oh, gold chains.
Okay, let's talk about my guy. Went 4th overall to San Jose, William Smith. I think he's gonna go by William now because I think he's sick of the jokes.
Hey,
Like,
he
I don't,
walked up to
Fair.
he
That's very fair.
Chris, you missed it. He
Uh,
walked up to
so the freshman's
the Fresh Prince theme song. I was
so
like, dude,
I really
that
hope
is
he got to pick that. I'm really hoping the players
yes,
got
yeah,
to pick
yes.
that. Okay.
yeah. All the
Okay, so
players
dude,
took
he's
up
probably not
their.
sick of the joke, man. He's buying
That's what I'm
full in.
saying.
So
That's what I'm saying,
the
dude.
so
He's
the
got it.
the reason I say he's probably sick of the joke is because he went by Will Smith like up until the point where he got drafted, right? But then like once he got drafted, all the figure cards, like all the displays, all the graphics, it switched to William Smith. Even his Wikipedia page is switched to William Smith. Like I
Was
have
it
the
Will Smith?
Fair
it
enough.
was. Yeah.
Wow.
My favorite like name change story is Andreas Janssen, who since the Leafs drafted him, this must have been like back 2014. We were just calling him Andreas Johnson. And I think it was with only one S. And like he came to the Marlies, and I'm pretty sure they had Johnson on the back, and he had to tell everyone because he was so shy that he didn't tell anyone for like a year that guys, it's actually Janssen. So yeah, that reminds me of. We have more name stuff too. What was the next pick, Dave? Brian?
The next pick
Was that?
off.
Number 5. I can't.
uh,
David
Oh,
something,
Oh,
right?
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right,
man, I
right.
forgot about that.
Price
Oh man,
Price kind of
poor
choked that
kid.
one.
Jeez.
Man. So that I did get to see that live. It was with my cousin and he
What a
pulled out
pick you
his
got to
phone.
see
He was
live.
on, yeah, I know, right? He threw it up on Ignite and he's like, yeah, okay, let's see a bunch of y'all picks because you're like, oh my god, are they gonna take Mitchkov? And to see Price go up there, so confident, like, thank you guys, it's me, Carey Price, Habs legend. Yes, yep, I'm here to make the pick, and we're very proud to select David.
Yeah.
Turns
I was like,
nothing.
wait a minute. I said to
Dave,
myself, I'm like,
you
hold on a
for a
second.
second,
Am I
Dave.
going?
Dude, it could have been you. For a good 10 seconds, you were just as likely to be picked as the actual guy, David Reinbacher. So,
We
okay,
planned
you guys
this.
got to
David
confirm this for me,
Reinbacher.
though, because I don't know if I didn't get this confirmed. I didn't hear this. Did Kent Hughes go to the mic and say we meant to do that? Someone told me that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He
He
did?
But
tried
he
to
Okay,
play
obviously
it off.
that's obviously a
yeah.
cover, but
Yeah.
good,
He tried to play it off.
smooth stuff by Hughes. I mean, no one's fallen for it, but he made light of the situation. That was good. That's good.
Yeah.
It'll go down in infamy either way.
You know,
That's
it was pretty
close
funny.
to that is like as close to the Bobby Clark Claude Giroux mix up that we'll ever get, I think. Have you guys seen that clip before?
I don't know if I
No,
have,
no.
man. I got
Okay,
it.
so the year Giroux got picked, so Bobby Clark was the GM of the Flyers at the time, and he goes up and he's like, with I think that was like a mid round pick too. It was like 15th. It's like with our 15th pick, the Philadelphia Flyers are proud to select. And I think he also said the name of the team. Like he had the team name down, but then he's like, "Who was it again?" He turned back to everybody. He's like, "What's his name again?" It's like, "Oh, Giroux, Claude Giroux." It's like,
Giroux, Claude Giroux.
Bob, what are you doing, dude?
At this point, just get like the stickies. Like write the guy's
Bring
name on
out
the
a cue
sticky.
card. Yeah, give him a
Yeah.
cue card.
And you might
Yeah,
have to put the
I'm just imagining Kent Hughes goes to Price. It's like, all right, Carey, we're taking David Reinbacher, and Carey's just like, okay, David. Yeah, we're taking David, and that's all. He did not get to Reinbacher.
I think it went more. I think it went more like, okay, Carey, we're getting David Reinbacher, and Carey's like, Mabe Mitchkov, and they're like, no, Carey, David Reinbacher. And you're like, Mabe Mitchkov, okay, and he went up
Got
and
it.
he almost said Mabe Mitchkov, but didn't.
Matt David Vichkov. Yeah.
Yeah,
I I
the
thought they were
Reinbach.
gonna go Leonard with this pick, but I guess they need a demon. I
I
guess.
actually I do like the fit. I think it's a good fit, and I think it's hilarious that Hughes said we went with the best player available. Anyone who said that
Yeah,
after pick 4 and didn't pick Michkov, like you're lying through
yeah,
your teeth. And also, Hughes went on to say, if Reinbacher was left-handed, I don't know if we'd be so hot about him, but he's a
yeah.
righty and we need depth there. So like, yeah, we took the best player available, but he's also positionally fitting our need, and he's right-handed, and that also fits our need. Like he did not take best player available. I still actually like the fit for Montreal. I did see people on Twitter
For,
saying Montreal had 2 top 5 picks. And here's a bunch of other teams who had 2 top 5 picks, and they got like Matthews and Marner, Kane and Tays, Crosby and Malkin, and Montreal has Slavkovsky and Reinbacher. And people are not too hot about that. I think it's way too early to
I
be making those
Yeah.
comparisons, but
yes,
yeah,
and another thing too. I also don't think Reinbach is the best defenseman in the draft. I thought that he was
you think the guy that
2.
went next?
Yes, Arizona got Dmitry Shimishev, the first Russian to be drafted in this draft.
Who would
So
have thought?
in Arizona's defense, they can't wait 3 years for Mishkov. In 3 years, they might not even be in Arizona. There's a good chance
Who
that's not
lasts longer,
almost
Michkov or the Coyotes in that organization? You're right. Yeah.
that's actually a very good question. I want to see the betting odds on that one. But I don't know. I like the fit. They just traded away their best defenseman ever to ever like step on ice, Coyotes ice, to ever put on the Coyote shirt in Jake Chychrun. Now they have another defenseman. Hopefully it pans out for them. They need something, man. They need something. And it's not the first Russian they picked. Sorry, it's not the only Russian they picked in this round. Okay, let's get into the big dog, the one that everybody wants to talk about. Mishkov falls to number 7. Danny Briere breaks the hearts of all Capitals fans.
Two things. First things first, and Dave pointed this out. And my God, beautiful jersey. Flyers, well done with those new kits. Love it, love it, love it. Seeing it on a actual person, 10
Yeah.
out of 10. Uh, Danny Briere doesn't miss, guys. This has he had a misstep yet? I know it's been very early into his tenure, but the guy doesn't miss.
He's striding it
Um,
right now,
he
100%.
is shouting. I loved him as a player, and I think I might like him even more as an executive. It's small sample size, but that's where I'm at already with him.
Well,
Um,
good
Sorry,
luck trying
Brian.
to
I know you got the thoughts here. Go.
good luck trying to break that contract, Danny. Good luck. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, okay, so
I don't think they're done bottoming out. I'll be honest with
They're
you.
not.
I
No,
think
no, not at all. This is they could go. They
it's gonna
could
be four
be like
years
fighting for
minimum.
last this year.
yeah.
Yeah. I just think looking back, should we really be too surprised when we look at the teams that made sense for him? Because we always talked about it's got to be a team that has a long timeline. So to me, the three teams with the longest timeline are San Jose, Arizona, and Philly. I think Montreal's much more ahead than people give them credit for. Even Anaheim, I think, are starting to come out of it. They've got their cornerstones in place. But yeah, San Jose just starting, Philly just starting, Arizona just starting. And I think we all agreed that Arizona doesn't make the most sense for Mitch Cobb because of uh, financial stuff. So that leaves you with San Jose or Philly. And the story behind the Philly Mitchkov pick is crazy if it's true. Brian, do you wanna take us through that one? I think you sent it in our chat late last night by Friedman.
So basically, there was rumors going around that Mishkov refused to meet with certain teams. One of those teams happened to be Arizona. He obviously didn't want to be on specific teams, and it ended up being true that I guess he kind of wanted to dodge and pick where he wanted to go. He ended up meeting in the Philadelphia Flyers practice arena, in which he had to cancel all the men's league games that were happening there, to black out the whole arena, and they met undercover in secret with Danny Briere and the other executives. And over here, he did at the Flyers practice. He confirmed that I did want to play in the NHL and I do want to be a Flyer.
Can we just say that's
Which
a sick story, man? Like that's a freaking gangster move by Briere. Just like that's out of like Lou Lamoriello's playbook. I love that. I love that. Close
I
down the
mean,
arena, fly him in, secret meeting. None of the insiders knew until after the fact. And they played smoke screens well. That a lot of people were saying, oh, Ryan Leonard makes lots of sense as a Flyer. Danny Beer had everybody fooled, man.
I also just wanted to like give my kudos to Danny Briere because of the fact that like this is their first X Factor prospect. They're going through a rebuild. They have some pieces, but this is Matt Vivishkov is going to be the cornerstone of the franchise if he ever comes over. Keep in mind that's a big if. Okay, and with the hearts breaking of all the Capitals fans that wanted Mishkov, we ended up getting a pretty good consolation prize in Ryan Leonard. Ryan Leonard is obviously from the U.S. program. He played with Will Smith and Gabriel Perreault on a super stacked line, and Ryan Leonard is the big body, and he did score the game-winning goal to win the U18 World Championships against Sweden. I don't know. I'm happy with the pick. I can't lie. It's not a bad consolation prize. Leonard will be fine. He's instantly our best prospect, and we do a pretty good job of doing like building prospects up. And yeah, that's really all I have to say.
Who's the ceiling comp? Who's the guy or you're putting your hopes and dreams on that he could be?
Brady
What is everyone
Kachuk.
saying? So they're
Brady.
saying Brady, not Matt.
They're
'Cause I
saying
would think
Brady,
more
the
Matt.
smaller Brady, but with more hands. But
Okay. So to me, that's Matt though. Like
yes, yeah,
smaller Brady with. I'm thinking more Matthew Kachuk because yeah,
he's
Brady is what I think like 6'3", 6'4",
it's
and I just looked at
I,
Leonard right now. He's 6
I
flat.
six.
think
Yeah,
I think the main difference is I don't know if Leonard's ever gonna put up like 100-point season like Matt
he
just
probably
did,
won't.
right?
So here's the
So
thing with Kachuk, right? It's like I don't think we even expected that from him when he was drafted. I
that's
don't
true.
think that was the expectation, right?
No,
So we looked at Kachuk and we probably said this is a
20
guy
games.
who's going to be like point per game. Yeah, point per game. Maybe in a down year, 60 points. In a great year, maybe 90. And he's blown through that.
Yeah.
Not saying that's obviously what you can expect from Leonard, but I think when we're saying Leonard is Tkachuk, maybe we're saying Leonard is who we thought Tkachuk projected to be before he was drafted, which is still a great prospect. It's still a
The
very useful player.
the
100%.
the idea is to be Tom Wilson light at the minimum, like Tom Wilson with
Maybe
hands,
that's the
right?
better comparison. Yeah. Giving up a little bit of size for a bit of skill. Yeah.
Yeah.
So also Ryan Leonard, Gabriel Perreault, and Will Smith are all going to BU together next year. They're gonna play on
I didn't know that. That's crazy.
their super stacked line. They've all committed together, and
Wow.
Wait
Boston
a minute.
College
But,
sorry,
I was
Boston
gonna say
University did pretty good. Yeah.
BU. Okay.
Did I say
Because BU is Baylor as well, I think. I was gonna say,
something
wait,
like that?
they're going out to Salt Lake City to play.
No.
A
I
big
mean, for like
fan.
college hockey, you got like freaking North Dakota and like they go places, right?
Yeah,
It's not like they're playing in UCLA or something. It's not happening.
the Bruins.
Yeah.
That's only for basketball.
But just one more thing I just wanted to say. So because of the fact that Smith, Leonard, and Pearl all put in the same line and they all got ridiculous amounts of points, you know, my heart's telling me that like Smith's the best one of the three, this and that. Sure, he's a center, more explosive, but we really don't know because like who's really, the best player on the team? Who's really the one driving the points and driving the play? Potentially, it could be Leonard. And
So do you want to see the line split up?
do I
Would you
want
like that? Yeah.
to,
I don't
if
know.
if it means getting 100 points in the Capitals in a couple years, who's gonna complain about that? Okay. I think we went to the top eight. I think after this, the only guys that really stood out were Dvorsky going to St. Louis at 10.
Great pick. I like that one a lot. St. Louis had a really good draft, honestly, like first round, I should say, not full draft. They also got Stenberg. That was with a Leafs pick. And they also got Theo Lindstein. So Lindstein, I think, is that was a bit of a reach. I think it was like in the 50s projected by people, and they took him 29. Stenberg is a guy I heard a lot for Leafs, and like I said, they got him in a Leafs spot. And then Dvorsky, yeah, Dvorsky's the cherry on top, though. At 10 is really good value because I think we were saying
Supposed to
Dvorsky
go
like
to
the
6.
Coyotes made a lot of sense. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Um, I
So
know Benson, you were high on Benson,
yeah, Benson.
right?
Benson
And
say
Buffalo,
Buffalo.
that's a really good pick. The goddamn Atlantic is ridiculous.
So another
Yeah.
Chicago have their 1C and their 2C for the next like 15 years. I'm really big on Oliver Moore. Oliver Moore had ridiculous points too, and he didn't play on that super line. He did everything himself on that second line. So that's a really good pickup from Chicago. Gabriel
Where'd
Perreault,
you yeah, let's talk about him.
he fell a lot, and Gabriel Perreault was not supposed to be putting up these types of numbers with the U.S. team. I'm gonna pull up a list of players, and you guys gotta tell me like what they all have in common.
They're all U.S. born.
No.
That's my early
It's like
prediction.
okay, 1 second. I should have had this up earlier, but
It's okay.
So did Oliver Moore and Gabe Perreault not play on the same line, or did they were also on different lines?
it was the three, like Pro, with
Perreault was
Smith.
a center as well,
Yeah, no, Pro's the right winger.
with Smith or Moore.
Smith and
Oh,
Leonard.
yes.
Like
Sorry, you were saying
they
this.
they
Yes.
stacked the three. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Moore was all on his own. Yeah.
Okay. So I have Cole Caulfield, Austin Matthews, Matt Boldy, Zegras, Phil Kessel, Alex Turcotte, Matthew Tkachuk. What do they all have in common?
So what I'm surprised by is no Jack Hughes on that list because I'm trying to predict what your list was about. This is definitely all U.S. program stuff. I'm
Yeah,
guessing this is maybe like the goals record, and you're gonna
yeah.
tell me that Gabe Perreault broke the goals record.
Gabe Perreault had more points than all of those names.
Oh, really?
The only players that did better than him were Clayton Keller, his line mate Will Smith, and Jack Hughes.
Jack Hughes. Yeah, I know Jack
Okay,
Hughes has
okay,
the
that's why.
U.S. record.
So what's funny with Jack Hughes is I think this record though is before getting drafted because didn't Jack Hughes no because then he stepped right in the NHL. Didn't he have a down year, Hughes, in his draft year? Like people were like down on him because I think
Yeah,
he didn't.
me.
Yeah. So I think Hughes actually The year before he got drafted is when he broke that record. Do you know if I'm right on that, Brian?
Yes. Yeah, like you're saying that his
Yes,
draft year he broke the record.
No, no. So the year before that, because
So
he had
his
a down
draft
year before
minus
getting
one
drafted. Yes, I'm pretty sure.
off the
Pretty
top of
sure.
off the
could
top of my
could
head,
be.
I'm not sure, but
You might be right,
It's more
Christian,
impressive.
because the record, because his point, I think he's at like 282 points. I think the next person is like, what is Keller at second, Brian?
Keller
Oh, so
is
this
at
is
3.
total?
Yeah,
Yeah,
total.
it's 12 points.
Okay, so all right. Okay.
The one
Okay.
caveat is Austin Matthews has 20 less games than everybody else and 20 less points
He
than
went to Zurich.
than Pro. Yeah, but I'll tell you what, that's pretty good company to be in. Rangers have
Mhm.
a good steal in Pro in 23, and yeah, okay.
Did the Rangers not have another, like, is one of their legends not like Yannick Perreault? Is he not the son of Yannick Perreault?
He is
Um,
he is the
is
son
he?
of Yannick Bro. Yeah,
Okay. Are
And
you thinking
was he
of
not a Rangers legend? Or am I thinking of somebody else?
you're
I'm not
thinking of
sure.
Sabres legend
Ah,
Gilbert Perreault.
Gilbert Perreault. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, never
Yeah.
mind.
A couple other picks I want to talk about. San Jose, good pick. Quentin Musty at 26. That's a guy I wanted for the Leafs,
Damn,
man.
two more,
Really
two
wanted
more,
him.
two more
Yeah.
drops. That would have been it.
Yeah. And I do think we got to talk about the Leafs pick here for a little bit.
I'm
Leafs
surprised you
select.
guys made it.
Yeah, I am too. We'll get to our predictions on that. Easton Cowan is who the Leafs select out of London Knights. He slowly started to rise up lists, but he did not have a great start to his year. I think people were saying he started on the third line for the London Knights, made his way up to the first line by the end of the season, and then performed very well in the playoffs for the Knights. Led rookie OHL rookies in playoff scoring. I think it was with 20 points in 21 games. Don't quote me
I
on
think it was
that,
the
but
I think it was the opposite. I think it was 21 and 20.
even better, even better. So he was a late riser, but even then he didn't really rise much on rankings. Most predictions had him in like the 60 range. Some people had him as low as 100. And I think the highest I saw anybody was mid 30s. And I think I said on Bob McKenzie's list, which is a very credible list, he was in the 50s. So definitely a reach. I have not gotten around to watching any highlights on this guy. I don't know if you saw anything even on the broadcast, Dave. So I'm not too familiar with this guy's play style yet. The only one comparison I heard was Travis Konechny, but first
I
off,
heard
that's high
that too.
praise.
Yeah.
That is high praise. I just can't. I haven't watched the video yet, so I can't back up those opinions. Um,
I will
did they say
say,
anything about his shot, or yeah, like Dave? What did you hear?
okay,
What did you hear the scouting
so
report on him? Because I haven't yet.
I did see one play of his. Okay, so take this with a grain of salt. He scored on an empty net.
I
Okay,
heard this
so
is the highlight that the Knights
this is
posted
the
to say
highlight, right?
congrats.
And so the thing is, like, empty net goal, that's not what we're watching here. He was like behind the play as the play was going up the ice, and he's got the if we're gonna talk about dog per 60, he's got that
Yes.
dog in him, dude.
Dave, okay, sold.
From what I saw, dude, he's got that raw dog in him.
He's got a
He like
Rottweiler.
yeah, he did. He stripped the puck away from like the defenseman coming up the ice, and still like I think they were also able to kind of catch up to him. So he had a body draped on him as he just kind of threw it into the empty net. Which, like, listen, empty net goals aside, it was just like it's just the way that I think he carries himself. He also has a big celly after it, Christian, that I think you might want to watch.
Okay, okay.
So
So
I'm liking it.
he's checking off a lot of like our
The
like personal
intangibles.
things, the
Just
personal
little
intangibles
tidbit.
we have.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I think he's also checking off a lot of tree living things. Doesn't he sound like such a tree living guy?
he does.
Canadian, hometown,
And
work
yet, even then,
ethic.
I don't even know if he was a tree living pick. Like, we don't really think that tree living had much
I from
input
what I
in this.
heard
You think?
from what I heard, if it was Dubas on the
Would
draft
trade it
board,
down.
Straight down.
no,
Yeah.
I think that they would have. I think that that's who they were looking to take.
Okay. Okay. So a lot of the legwork was done prior to Tree Living being hired, and maybe Tree Living said, "Yeah, I like that pick." So
Probably, yeah.
okay. Here's my very, very way too early hot take because like we can't say this is a great pick or a bad pick. Like I said, not very high on a lot of mock drafts, Easton Cowan, but who the hell are we to say this is great or not? I'm not no scout. Far from it. I brought up a comparable that I think could make some sense in terms of trajectory. I don't know if they're total comps in terms of play style, but we're going to see. So, Easton Cowan's points this past year played 68 games for London Knights, 20 goals, 33 assists, 53 points. Nick Robertson in his draft year for the Peterborough Petes. 54 games played, 27 goals, 28 assists, 55 points. So slightly better production in a slightly smaller amount of games in his draft year. Nick Robertson then exploded in his D+1 year for 46 games played, 55 goals, 31 assists, 86 points. I think that's the hope, at least, with Easton Cowan, that he has that type of trajectory. Because Nick Robertson, mind you, he was a second round pick, but some people did think he was a reach as well. I think what we could see is Nick Robertson not find his way onto the Leafs roster this year. He might be the one who gets shipped off, and you have your new Nick Robertson, Easton Cowan. That's going to be my very early prediction, but I think that might be what we see.
So Christian, during our predictions, your 50% was that the Leafs were gonna trade it away for either dumping Matt Murray or not. They didn't move the pick at all.
No.
Are you
I'm mad.
surprised or no?
Yes, and I'm mad. I could go on a Leafs rant. I'll save it for later. As much as Easton Cowan, great to add into the prospect pool. Same idea with you, Brian. How Leonard shoots the top of your guys' prospect board. He's right up there, Easton Cowan. He probably already leapfrogs Fraser Minton. I'm trying to think who he hasn't leapfrogged already. Maybe there's we got a Russian guy, Grabyankin, Nikolai Grabyankin, as I believe his name. He was a KHL Rookie of the Year. He might be our new number one, but I mean, Cowan's put himself right there. Despite all that, just looking around the league and the trades that did happen, I can't help but feel like it was a missed opportunity to upgrade the NHL roster. Caveat there, we didn't see any trades at all in this draft in the first round. Nobody moved at all. So that's the caveat there. I don't know, Brian, do you want to bring up we maybe should have brought this up in the top 10 picks, but Barry Trotz. Did you guys see the reports of what Barry Trotz was trying to do?
Well,
Yeah.
but he couldn't do it. It's too expensive.
And did you see what his purported package involved that he was offering to teams? So he wanted to get into the top 5, and he specifically went to San Jose and Montreal, offering a package that included Askarov as part of a larger deal.
Wow.
That's got to be enticing, especially, I think even more
Both
so
have
for
no
San
goalies.
Jose. Yeah, but I think for San Jose, I like it more. Now, the thing is, once again, with San Jose, they don't have those impact prospects yet. They have one guy. They have William Eklund, and that's it. So I do get it for San Jose, and I do get it for Montreal. Why they'd say no, but
I think
that's
Thomas
tempting.
Bordeleau
He
is
was
pretty
trying.
good too.
Bordeleau's pretty good. You're right.
Yeah, I know what you mean
find his
by
way onto the roster this year.
Yeah, but
they're 4 guys. Like
it's Eklund. Yeah,
but Smith is like legitimately
exactly.
He automatically he's automatically their top prospect
the cornerstone
by far
now.
and away. Yeah. The thing with Montreal, I'm a little bit confused why they wouldn't take I know they wanted Reinbacher, right?
Could have had him at 8.
They filled the position of need, but I know that they've got who waiting in the wings? Caden Primo.
Well, Lane Hudson is the big one.
Lane Hudson.
No, he's saying specifically.
No, I'm saying for goalies.
In goal.
Goalies.
Dude, yeah, they don't have much. It's Caden Primo, and even then, it's getting late for Primo.
Yeah,
I think they do like Montembeault. I think they might try to keep him.
Yikes.
But that's a holdover. Like that's not a permanent solution.
Yeah, like Montembeault is not going to be on this team 10 years from now, whereas Askarov could be winning a Vezina in 10 years.
He could be your backup starting next year.
if I'm
Yeah.
being honest with you guys, I don't think it matters that much. Like the past two teams that won the cup have shown that you can get away with like cheap
Yeah.
and like just
Brian, but what you said it yesterday. Would you be willing to trade a Russian goalie right now? Like
that's
they
true.
seem to
That's
be
true.
producing like Sorokin this year is a finalist. Vasilevsky's won. He has one Vezina or two Vezinas.
And the
Just one.
Shesterkin. Yeah, no, it's
And
true.
Shesterkin has one, right? Like they're like I'm not gonna sit here and say that I know right now that Yaroslav Askarov is gonna be a Vezina winning goaltender. I can't tell you goal like if we're gonna talk about the uncertainty of draft like prospects and that type of stuff on like forward and on D, goalies are a whole different situation.
Yes, but
But
hear me
oof,
out.
Outside of Dustin Wolf, I think Askarov is your best bet for a goalie prospect. Like I think he's number two. I don't
yeah,
really think this.
I think so.
Maybe Devin Levi if you want to consider him.
but hear me out.
Tier three.
They're still 1 or 2 years away from truly competing for a cup. 1 year away from competing for a playoff spot. They can take their
I
time, pick their
I think
cherry.
Askarov still needs another year. I still think he would have fit their system. Like he would have fit their time frame. It's just I'm not saying that Montreal was stupid for taking Reinbacher instead of taking that deal, right? But I'm just saying like like it could that one is one I think over San
Tempting.
Jose especially that
You,
is just like ooh it's
you know
so
what?
tempting.
You know what? You go to 15th. You might not get Reinbacher, but you could get Axel Sandin Pellikka, who fell to 17th.
Exactly.
Definitely
Is he a
possible.
righty? I think they specifically wanted a
I
right-handed
think
guy.
he's a
Sounds
lefty,
like.
if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Because I was gonna say, Brian, you even said like he could
Pel-
you could switch to 8.
That's true.
I think who
Pellikka
knows
is
if Arizona wanted maybe they wanted Reinbacher and they were going to take a defenseman no matter what, and that's why they went with Simashev. So even that would be a risk.
before we go to break, Sandin Pellikka was a righty, and yeah, I
Oh,
agree.
okay.
Montreal probably
Okay.
should have traded with us, but that was going to break. Okay, we are back. We just got back from a little break. No, I did think about this. If Montreal move back to 8, lets us pick up Mishkov, lets them keep Reinbacher, and they can raid our cookie jar for a bit. It does make sense on paper, but I don't know. There had to have been some reason why it didn't happen. Maybe they had inside information that Philadelphia maybe wanted Reinbacher for whatever reason. They didn't want to lose out to that. I, I don't know. We're not the ones like making decisions. We don't know what the GMs are talking about. We're not in that 32 group chat.
I wish.
No, it would be interesting, but no, it sucks that we didn't get Mishkov. I'm a little bummy about that. I can't lie. Okay. Yeah, you're gonna hear that for a long time,
It's gonna be a
especially
long
because
time.
no,
Every
because he's in
time he
my
scores, you're gonna
he's literally in my division now. Like this is the exact same thing. If
It's
like
not hard, you know.
that is why me and Christian were like, thank God. Like if he fell to Montreal, oh my God.
I was sweating. I was goddamn sweating.
let's pretend like I don't know. You guys were let's pretend the 2015 draft. You guys were second, and you guys just missed out on McDavid. Like oh my goodness, that's what I'm gonna hear about every single day for like well at least 5 times a season going forward in 3 years from now, if that happens. Okay,
Hopefully.
now okay, let's get into some other stuff that's not draft related.
I have one slight draft related thing, barely even draft related. Jersey news. The Anaheim Ducks jersey.
Yeah.
Revealed on Twitter. Very nice. Very,
Oh, yeah.
very, very nice. They need to go full time to that. And I'm happy that they didn't just go total Mighty Ducks with the usual Ducks and Sticks logo. They went with a more of a crest, circular logo with just the duck mask. Very clean.
This
very,
is the 30-year
very clean.
anniversary, right?
30-year anniversary. Crazy that the Ducks have been around for 30 years. That seems like a long time in my head. I don't know.
Well,
They
it's
feel
older than
newer
us.
than that. Yeah.
No, it is
Yeah.
gorgeous. I'm just looking at it now. I like the color scheme a lot, and you see how happy all the Ducks fans look because they know it's
No
time
more
for a
of
new
that
era.
garbage crap. Thank God. My wish came true, boys. If they go full time to that, I like the team a lot more.
Okay, let's move on to some pretty big news. I'd say Vegas, they're making some moves. Traded Riley Smith to Pittsburgh for a 3rd round pick. Their corporate head cutting and they signed Ivan Barbashev 5x5.
My God.
I was on the
Give
subway
George.
while this happened, man, and
Did you
Oh
see our
man,
group chat? Or like,
Kelly McCrimmon, George McPhee, give them whatever, give them awards right now for next year, because how have they pulled off two finesses? It was literally within the span of an hour. Like that's like legitimately insane.
within the
Like,
time
how-
Christian said, I hope nothing happens on this while I'm on the
Yeah,
subway.
it literally was. That's
and
so
then
funny.
I said, I'm like, Brad, and like, okay, I hope nothing happens on the subway, and that Brad better like be involved if
Be
it
involved
does.
in it. Yeah.
I proceed to get off the subway, get service. It's like, we signed Pontus Holmberg. I'm like, Brad's got my line. Brad's fucking with me right now. Not I love Pontus Holmberg, but it was just like it really twisted the wound.
In terms of
Yeah.
extensions, Pontus Holmberg is like 6 on the Leafs
I
right
like
now.
I'm a big Pontus Holmberg guy, but just the timing was not great. The timing was not great. Do you guys want to wax poetically about Ivan Barbashev for a second while I pull up some Riley Smith stats, because I also want to talk about him.
Wax poetically
Okay.
or cry into like a pillow.
That's
Okay.
true. Yes.
How much did you guys think he was gonna get? I thought he was gonna get 7x7.
I
I
had
thought
him
8
pegged
by
at
7.
5 points. I had 5.75 by like 7. Yeah.
Not
Ugh.
only did Vegas get favorable money, they also got favorable term. They probably played the whole we won once, look how great everything was. Let's do it again. Take a small discount. And Barbashev probably thought, okay, let's do it.
Run it back.
Because yes,
He wants cup number 3. That's what he's going for.
potentially
So-
3. Yeah.
I know you're
Potentially
saying
3
about the
4 years.
favorable term, but I'm so confused by it. There's a lot of people. I saw a lot of people saying like, "Oh, if you sign into a mega deal like 6x7, that contract is going to age terribly." Like in the back half. Do you guys know how old Ivan Barbashev is?
28.
27. 27. He's a December birthday, so like he's on the younger side. If you were signing him for 7 years, he's 34 when that deal ends. That's not terrible. That's not
And-
bad at all.
Instead, he's 32, and probably if he keeps up his pace, maybe we get to see
That's the contract we'll be saying, oh, back half of that is terrible. That's the one. This
the
one's
next
gonna be
one or
fine.
this one.
Yeah,
The next one's
one.
going to be
the next one.
Yeah.
This
But
is
but even the
totally
next
fine.
even the next one, like if he's 32 is like I don't know, I'm just
He signs like let's say he says a
projecting here.
5-year deal.
Another 5
right?
years, so to 37. Yeah, I guess I could see. Yeah, for sure. I think anything over 3 years for the next contract, so after 34, will be man, why
Yeah.
did we get ourselves locked into a situation like this? Unless he goes full bag that time, and instead of 5 years, he goes 3 years and it's like 8 mil. You know what I mean? Or 7
Yeah.
mil if he keeps it up, right? I guess we'll
I'll put
see.
it. I'll put it
I-
to you this way: how old is Riley Smith right now?
Ooh,
20
is he?
29 or 32 or something like that. I'll put in that range. Yeah.
I'll say 30.
So I'm just going to confirm what his contract was. He signed a 5x5 when he was 27 years old. He's 32 years old right now. Like, actually, okay, so he didn't sign it when he was 27. My bad, because he's still got 2 years left on his deal. My point is, they've just reset the timeline on Riley Smith. That's basically what they did here. Riley Smith. Okay, I like. Let's continue on Barbashev first, because I do want to talk about Riley Smith. But Barbashev, like 5x5 is going to be a great deal, and it allows them to keep Aiden Hill and Barbashev. Riley Smith is the guy who got the cup handoff as an original misfit, but I don't even know if we can be that surprised that Vegas did this. We know that they're ruthless. We know that they're cutthroat. And I mean, on Riley Smith's end, they won the cup. You can definitely be mad, but at the same time, you completed the goal that you sought out to do with the Vegas Golden Knights. I think it could be a mutually beneficial trade.
I mean, you could be mad all you want, but now you're going from a cup-winning team to playing with Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, and Nick Chris Letang. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? It's a different story if it's, okay, Riley Smith, we're going to ship you off to Arizona. That would be like, okay, well, I mean, Arizona wouldn't even want Riley. Like, they don't want pieces on their team. So for them, it doesn't really matter. But you get if you catch my drift, like it could, like, this is potentially the last run. If we talked about Boston's last dance last year, is this Pittsburgh's last dance this year? Like, it looks like Kyle Dubas is going to load up this team, try to get a little bit younger and more skillful to get Pittsburgh back to the playoffs. And then if you get back into the playoffs, I guess we'll see what's going to go on,
I'll
right?
be honest with you. I like the moves that all the teams made. It's like Vegas get to keep their identity. The whole like I know we just won, but if you guys don't perform, if it's not the best for the team, like we'll cut heads. It's it goes back to that like story with Alex Ferguson. I don't know if you've heard it, Dave, but it's like they won the Champions League and then like they're partying and then right when they get on the bus, Ferguson says to everybody, "If you guys don't get your shit together, if you guys don't perform again,
Yeah.
like you
This
guys are
is
all
going to
dead
be
to
the
me."
last. He's like,
Yes.
it was basically like in, this feeling that we're having right now, we could have it again for the next 5 straight Champions Leagues if you get your acts together, basically. Like don't lose sight of the real goal here, right? Like one is fun, but how would
And
4
it's
sound,
and it's just
basically?
the idea of doing what's best for the team, what's best for the organization, and also for Pittsburgh. Get a third line center, probably maybe potentially a winger for Sidney Crosby or Malkin for a third round pick. Pretty good business.
So
I
what's hilarious is I just looked back into our chat because I knew that me and Dave had a conversation about Riley Smith. And I
we
wanted to
did.
look at, I
Ugh.
know for a fact we did. So I looked it up. June 6th, me and Dave are talking about Barbashev and Aiden Hill and Riley Smith. And I'm like, they're going to have to choose between Barbashev and Aiden Hill. I bet they choose Barbashev.
They get both.
Or they can ship out Riley Smith. That's always been the rumor, but low-key, he has phenomenal stats. I just proceed to send the stats. Me and Dave look at them like, that's pretty good. And then Dave says, yeah, honestly, I'm buying, like, I would absolutely take him. 5 mil by 2. But yeah, he's a Toronto kid. Yeah. It's just incredible how this is exactly how it played out, that they shipped
Yeah.
out Riley Smith, kept Barbashev and Aiden Hill.
And it's almost like I think Dubas, like if we said Brad has a direct line to us, dude, I think
man.
Dubas has one 100%. He's got his tapped right now.
That's the thing too, is I don't know if I'd be like so frustrated with the Leafs not being in on that deal if he doesn't go to Pittsburgh and it's Dubas in charge now. Like that could have been us.
I don't think it was just Riley Smith for me and you in particular, because by Riley Smith, that was my breaking point. I'm all caps. I'm like, pick up the phone, Brad. Do something. What are we doing here?
Sorry, finish, Dave.
Yeah, no, it was more of like, I know we're gonna get into it, but it was like the Toffoli trade, and what was the other trade that I think we all got?
Johansson trade, Kevin Hayes trade for free. They're for free. All these players for free. Taylor Hall for free.
Oh my God, Taylor Hall,
Ross Colton, Alex Newhook, Sean Durzi. All of these trades. Leafs could have feasibly done. Some of them more than others. Like I understand Colton, like Tampa's not giving us Ross Colton. Boston's not giving us Taylor Hall. But all the other stuff.
But Tyler Toffoli, especially from your old, like Brad, like you have everybody's number in that organization.
Yes, we'll get to Tyler Toffoli too, because I do have thoughts on that trade. I just want to really quickly present those Riley Smith stats that are really good. This is basically since his Vegas tenure. So 2017-18, 22 goals, 60 points in 67 games. 74 games, 19 goals, 53 points. Next year, 27 goals, 54 points. His only down years, 2021. This is full COVID year, weird divisions. 25 points in 53 games. So let's call that a 40-point pace. Last 2 seasons ago, 38 points in 56 games. And last year, 26 goals, 30 assists for 56 points in 78 games. The guy's a goddamn good player. He's worth his $5 million contract, and he was basically gone for free. A third-round pick.
The crown jewel of this all, the winning mentality. He has it. He's proven it.
Yeah,
he literally just won the Stanley Cup. He was the first guy the cup was handed to. There's a reason.
And he was good. He was really good in their run, right?
He was.
So I did see Vegas fans saying that it's obviously that was a tough one emotionally. Lots of memories made with Riley Smith, but they understood it, and they did say that they felt that his offensive game was sliding a little bit. But they did acknowledge his defensive game he's a stalwart. He's really good.
Do you want to know what's the worst part of this?
No.
He's going to the East.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm brutally
He's
aware.
going to
Yeah.
your rivals, Bryce.
Yeah.
So
He's gonna fit really well as a Pittsburgh Penguin, and all of a sudden they have a very decent looking top six. Malkin, Crosby, Gensel, Riley Smith, Ricard Raquel, Brian
Brian
Rust.
Rust.
That's formidable. That's good. That's
Crosby
definitely
plus
good.
Crosby plus Smith is pretty
Yeah.
nice. I can't
He's
lie.
he'll fit in really nicely on Crosby's wing. So how much cap space do you guys think the Penguins still have?
Like
11 million.
100K.
15 million.
Oh.
15 million.
Yeah.
So
something
basically what
ridiculous like
happened
that.
is they turned Zucker into Riley Smith essentially. Zucker's a free agent, so that's basically what happened there.
Are they also
I
not? Aren't they also looking to get off of Mikael Granlund as well? That's another 5 mil.
I think
Or
I
are they
think that
just
would
gonna
have
bite the
made a
bullet?
lot of sense before Dubas, but we know that Dubas was really high on Mikael Granlund. So I
Mhm.
think I have a feeling he's gonna give Granlund a year to figure it out, and then if
Oh,
not,
I hate
he
Pittsburgh.
can do Dubas stuff. But they need a goalie. That's their big thing. They need a goalie. And there was also a rumor that they're willing to move off of Jeff Petrie. I mean, why wouldn't you? Make 6.25 million, not the best. That San Jose might be interested in that. Like, there's a world where Dubas does Dubas stuff, and they can add a crap ton. If they're at
Yeah.
50 million cap space right now, if they were to get off of Petrie, they're back at 20 million in cap space with holes, but they could end up looking really different and in a good way by the end of the summer.
They definitely need somebody mobile on the back end. There's so many like just hulking like logs in the
Somebody to just
back.
cover for Letang, right? Like
Yeah.
someone who can just move the puck other than Letang.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. Because the
Yeah.
rest of them are like just trees back there, which is good. You got to have a mix. But to have like it's like literally 5 trees and Chris Letang, basically.
Dude, I think it's literally Letang, Marcus Pedersen, and Ruda. I don't
Oof.
even know who the other ones are.
I don't even think like Marcus Pedersen and Jan Ruda are like notable puck moving guys either.
No,
Like,
no. Patterson, I know they like, but it was like they traded Marino last year. Like
yeah,
throw Marino on
that's
that
a
blue
tough
line,
one.
and that looks a
that's a
lot
real
better.
tough one.
Like they
Well,
traded for Ty Smith, who
it
hasn't.
was for Ty Smith, right? So
Yeah, but he hasn't done much yet. They do have. I do remember they have Pierre Olivier Joseph, who they like a lot. I think. Still, you need more. You still need more. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The Riley Smith made us all, made our blood boil. This one definitely raised the temperature of our blood just even higher. Tyler Toffoli going to New Jersey for what? Igor Sharangovich and a third round pick, I believe.
Sharon Govich and a third. Yeah. So first things first. First reactions, first impressions. God damn it. God damn it. God damn it. Brattry Living, why the hell were you not in on this? What the hell, man? That's cheap as hell. This is bull crap. I'm gonna explode. That's first reaction. Take a little bit to relax, just sit in the yard and just stare at the sky. And I say, okay, you know what? I guess I get it. I guess. I had to convince myself. We're probably underrating Sharon Govich a lot. He plays all 3 forward positions and he penalty kills. And he put up decent points, not this past year, but last year. Like, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for him to put up 20 goals, 50 points next year in an elevated role in Calgary. So I don't know. I'm still mad. I'm still mad, but I'm trying to think to myself in the Leafs context, Dave, who is our Sharon Govich? We don't really have a Sharon Govich. In
You had
terms
a
of value, it would be Liljegren. But they have to want Liljegren more than Sharon Govich. I have a feeling that Calgary just really liked Sharon Govich, and not every team has one of those guys.
I don't think
that's
Calgary
where I'm at on this.
I don't think Calgary would have been tempted with a young D man as much as somebody who has the potential to pop in 20 goals, right?
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
think we identified Calgary's weaknesses this past year, and it was not even just us. Like Calgary's weaknesses were on full display this year. They were not able to find the back of the net as often as they probably should have. Like I think with the talent on their roster, they probably should have scored a lot more. Adding somebody like Sharon Govich to maybe supplement a bit more depth scoring I think for Sharon Govich especially, like, you know, the emergence of Dawson Mercer, who else came
Timo
up this year?
Meyer,
Timo Meyer, yeah,
acquiring
Timo
him,
Meyer
right?
drops. Timo Meyer drops Sharon Govich because are they not? I know Sharon Govich could play all 3 forward positions, but like, you know,
Yeah.
Timo Meyer drops him
So
down. Dawson Mercer drops you down, right? So it's tough to
and
play.
what happened was he's such a skillful player that they basically didn't even play him in the bottom six. He went from top six to healthy scratch. He
Wow.
wasn't playing in the playoffs for them. Is basically what
So
happened. But like I said, like he's got respectable numbers. I'm gonna pull them up here. Like he should be playing.
as you pull them up, I'm just gonna let you know that it's impossible to get into the Devils' top six. They also signed Meyer 8.8x8. Their top six literally consists of Meyer, Heischer, Mercer, Bratt, Hughes, Toffoli. You cannot,
Disgusting.
you can't get
Disgusting.
into
Yeah,
that.
so
Gross.
it's like
Gross, gross, gross.
where's Sharon Govich going to fit in over there? You know what I
Like
mean? So
Yeah.
this might actually be
No,
the deadliest top six in the league.
I think you might be right. So did you guys hear the Fitzgerald quote in relation to someone asking about his top six? He said, "We don't want to have the best top six in the league. We want to have the best top nine in the league."
wow,
And have
good.
you
So
seen their top nine?
Yeah,
I don't even need to hear the next three guys. Just the top six covers the whole top nine. Like I'm already sold.
that's what I
It's
want to
Gross.
hear. If that's my
Yeah.
GM, that's exactly what I want to hear. Like
So I
where
think
it's not kind of coming like everybody else comes off like a bit weak, or like meek. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, we have a pretty good top six, but Tom Fitzgerald doubled down. He's like, oh, you think my top six is good? Look at the next 3 guys after him. We're gonna have the best top nine that you've ever seen. I like that. Back it up a little
so
bit.
I'm gonna wrap up the Calgary side before we get more into the New Jersey side here. Because like you said, there is the Meyer extension that we can throw in there too. So Sharon Govich, he signed an extension. He's 25 right now. Signed a 3.1 by 2 deal. And this past season, he had 30 points in 75 games. Like we said, he was playing lower in the lineup. And then the year before, 46 points in 76 games with 24 goals. His rookie year in the bubble season, 30 points in 54 games. Those are pretty good numbers. If I had to set a floor on this guy, there's a world where he turns out as one of the 3 Leafs who were RFAs in this age range that signed multi-year deals in the $3 million range. Kapanen, Johnson, Kerfoot. It's crazy how we look at all 3 of them now and we're saying, what the hell happened there? They all showed flashes, but none of them really outperformed that contract. That's the floor, I think, for him. There's a world where he doesn't end up being much. He's a middle six guy who'll give you 15 goals, 45 points, and he is what he is. But I do
Unless
think there's a
Sharon,
world where he's better.
unless Sharon Govich becomes a 60 to 70 point guy, they lose the trade. Calgary lost the trade 100%.
100%. 100%. I
Like you
agree.
can't defend it. It's I don't know. They got fleeced, I think.
I will say though, like I've come around on it. I was in the opinion it was a fleecing, but I've come around on the idea that there's a world where it makes sense for them. Um, Foley extension talks are apparently going to happen right away too, which is crazy to think about. He makes 4.25 right now. To fit on Jersey, I'm trying to think, man, how they could make it work. I think maybe something in the low fives. If he could do that on like a 3-year deal, it could probably work. The only thing on the New Jersey Devils cap sheet that scares me is a Dawson Mercer extension that has to come at least by next year. They can sign him to an extension on July 1st. If they do that, if they lock him up on a 7x8, and then Tyler to full extension, they have an immaculate cap sheet. I don't know if there's a team in the league that has a better cap situation than the New Jersey Devils off the top of my head.
They could
I
they
can't
could
think of anyone.
they could even get Mercer to go 8x8.
Yeah,
I'd still
sorry.
sell
True,
him
they
at
could go
8x.
eight by exactly. I'm still
Be
happy with that. That's probably a
because
little high, but I'd
the
still bet on him.
the reason I say 8x8 is because like it's the precedent Hughes set.
Yeah.
Everybody has to be
Yes.
under me, and the only reason Myers over me is because well San Jose didn't do their due diligence and didn't take care of that contract. They are going to be good for a long, long time.
If Mercer has another season like he did this year, do you maybe foresee him not doing a long-term deal, maybe taking that midterm contract and
No,
then
No,
He
Dave, because this isn't the Leafs, and players on other teams actually signed
Nobody else is
reasonable
able to do
deals.
that. Okay, so it's just
Sorry,
us.
I
All
yeah,
right, fair,
yeah,
it's the same
fair
it's the
enough.
same idea with Montreal and Buffalo. The teams
yes.
here think
Go
that
long term, quick.
Yeah.
like, but there's also
Oh
the
yeah,
idea of
I'm
like,
saying 100%. If you are the team, you want him under
You're saying from
contract for
his
8 years
perspective,
after. But I'm saying on his
yeah.
perspective, I think I would maybe bet on myself. Listen, I'm just trying to say that maybe just to
yeah,
like
Dave's not
raise the
happening.
bar. Yeah,
We're coping. We're coping.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's like same like the young group of guys like Buffalo, Montreal, New Jersey, they all have this idea that like if we want to win, we got to do what's best for the team and what's best for ourselves, and there's a balance between the two. They're gonna find a way to do it, and
Okay, I'm gonna have a counter argument though. I have a
yeah,
counter argument here. Um, all three of those teams, their core guys on their entry level deals, they all showed promise,
but they weren't
flashes
popping
of
off.
brilliance. They never had the full package seasons that the goddamn Leafs core had. You didn't have like Matthews with 40 goals in his rookie season, Marner with 92 points, 93 points in his second year, Nylander with back-to-back 60-point seasons. Nylander actually, this is the comparable for a lot of these deals: the Jack Hughes deal, the Heischer deal, the Caulfield deal, Dylan Cousins. They had the production similar to Nylander, and they signed Nylander-esque deals. Matthews and Marner did not have seasons like Jack Hughes, right? Like Jack Hughes is in the Marner and Matthews range,
Now he
but he
is.
didn't produce like them at first. And so they could he didn't have much leg to stand on to
Yeah.
say, sign me to the Matthews deal, sign me
Austin
to the
Matthews,
11 by whatever,
dude, Austin
right?
Matthews signed his deal and then won a Rocket. And then after that, he
Yeah,
won a Rocket and a
yes.
Hart Trophy. You know what I
So
mean? Like,
it's like the conversation we have to have is like we paid such a crazy premium for the difference between getting that production slightly earlier. How is the difference between getting a 93 point season out of Marner in his second year, $3 million over Jack Hughes, who did it in his third year?
Like the
That's
counter,
all the difference here.
I
It's
think we just kind of,
crazy. It's crazy.
I think we kind of wish that, unfortunately, I think between the two of them, I think like if we're gonna think,
I'm sorry
I
about
think
making
Marner,
about the Leafs, Brian.
I know
Sorry.
it's how it is.
I'm sorry, but it's
I think
just, I had to
Marner
come up.
deserved, not deserved, but like I
Okay,
wish he had taken
I
a bit of a
agree.
haircut.
But so that's the thing though. I agree that those
But it's
players,
like,
based on their performance, deserve the contracts they got. What I always think to myself is like, if those players were not on the Leafs, do they ask for those contracts?
probably
Even
not.
if
probably
they,
not.
so even if they had the exact same production,
If
and they had it on the Colorado
if
Avalanche or the Pittsburgh
Austin
Penguins,
Matthews,
are they on those deals?
if Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner are on the New Jersey Devils, they probably get, Matthews probably gets
It's 10 on the dot.
10 on the dot, 9.5
Yeah, he
if
says,
you're
give me what Jack
lucky.
Eichel got. Jack Eichel got 10.5. I want 10.5. Martin says, yeah, give me what I don't know, Mikko
And,
Rantanen or whoever
and
signed
I don't
before.
I
Like,
don't I don't want to be that guy. I really don't want to be that guy, but
Uh-oh.
I think that Dubas might have given blank checks where Tom Fitzgerald stood his ground. Like that's the difference, you know?
but so we just talked about though how there is a tangible performance difference
Yes,
in the
but
stats.
but
So they
like
right? I think if Hughes had
there's
that
the
season, it's a different contract.
but there's also the idea of like they didn't, not just the money, just
I
the
agree
as
with you though, Brian. I
with
agree
the,
with you.
but it's also the years, you know? Like Jack
Yes,
Hughes was
yes,
locked
you
up
can't
eight
have
extra years.
both.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you gave up
And
the
Matthews
term, you
and
gave
Marner
up.
got both.
If it was
Yes.
matching
So-
8-year deals for both on
Yeah.
both of those numbers,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are like, okay, we can handle, because again, I'll go back to it. That when they signed those deals, the promise was by the end of those deals, the cap was going to go up well upwards of $10 million. So, but that would be within what, 5 years? So if you have them another 3 years on top of that,
The big difference.
By that 8th year, it's yeah.
And what would have happened is other contracts would have caught up with them, right? So
Yeah.
if the cap had gone up, Hughes's deal would have been crazy. But because we lived in that flat cap world, he had no choice but to take 8x8, right? That's what happened. So it's twofold. It's how it affected the Leafs and how it affected other players' contracts that make it look even worse for the Leafs. And so now in the context of the cap that's supposed to be rising again, some people are saying, oh, you can't make that bet, right? Because it burned us last time. I think we can hopefully say no pandemic in the next couple of years. I know it's right. It's
Please
sacrilege,
God,
whatever.
not again.
Please God.
Not in my
That's a strong
lifetime,
take.
at least.
But let's just say cap goes up. Even then, like it goes up for the other teams too. I feel like some people forget that. Like the cap doesn't just go up for the Leafs. Like sure, oh, the Leafs cap situation is solved. Guess what? New Jersey's cap situation looks immaculate. It looks even better.
it
It
looks
already
even
looks good in the
better.
flag cap. It's only getting better, man. Like
Look,
you still lose. You're still in a shit spot.
Bri,
Where
I'm
going
in.
with all this? I have go, Brian.
I
You have
think
to go.
I agree with you, Bri. I
Yes.
think we try to defend Dubas for not standing pat, and I think that in hindsight now, I know we could put all the factors around, but I think Brian has a point where Tom Fitzgerald in particular looks like he stood his ground. It was either you take the money or you take the term, right? And in the case of like Hughes in particular, he kind of got both. Like I think 10.5 for over 8 for Hughes is still fantastic. He probably could have got a little bit more, maybe could have got away with less term to like for the future. But I think the Dubas defenders are starting to come around on, you know,
If
Ugh.
you're gonna
I am a Dubas defender. This is part. I don't think
If-
he's the full reason for what happened.
if you're gonna
Um,
overpay, I 100% agree that it's like good to overpay for like your superstar guys, right?
Yes,
But
that's the
like,
thing. That's what I'm saying. They deserve the contracts, and yet in different scenarios would they have done the same.
but
So I
hear me
think
out.
with Jersey, they look at their team and say they have belief. They want to make everything fit, and they made their sacrifice, slight haircuts on their contracts. I think our core basically looks at the Leafs and says, we play for the Leafs. Guess what that means? We can make lots of money. Let's take advantage of the Leafs because we know they'll pay us. And other teams are saying, I go to this team because the Leafs have to change their mentality. They need to, instead of saying, we are the Leafs, we need these guys to play for us, it needs to be, we are the Leafs. It's an honor. It's a privilege to play for us.
You should like
honor, pride, courage.
Mhm.
If you want to try and take advantage of us, there are other people who will feel honored and privileged to play for us. Whenever this core is done, and listen, it could still end up successful, whatever. That's how the culture needs to shift. Instead of saying, yes, you are great players, you do play for the Maple Leafs, and as such, we're going to pay you what you deserve. It needs to. That's where the shift has to be. I'm more and more skeptical of this all working, especially with hearing Nylander stuff now about wanting more than 9.5. Like I am, it gets harder and harder to see
Like,
a path forward as someone who still like the core four is still good. Like it is what it is, but I had to get it off my chest, but I had to get the Leaf stuff off my chest. I'm all good now.
We can do a little bit more Leafs. David
Okay.
Kemp,
Do you want
2.4.
Sure.
I do have I have a trade to announce.
Frank the Tank.
Second round pick for a second and a fourth.
The Chicago Blackhawks have acquired Josh Bailey and a 2026 second rounder for future considerations from the Islanders. So Josh Bailey
it's
for
a great
nothing.
player.
Yeah, it's
and
the
a
worst
second.
contract. It's a
a
bad
good deal.
contract though.
That's the worst
That's a-
contract on the Isles that they just got out of, probably.
Yeah,
I have no problems with that for either team.
it's whatever.
Islanders are feel like Islanders are in a rough spot right now. They could definitely find themselves in the basement as early as this year. I'll be curious to see if that money is used to try and keep Mayfield, which I hope it isn't.
For selfish reasons.
Yeah, for
Okay,
selfish reasons.
we'll do camp quickly because we only have 7 minutes before we go on break, and
Sure.
then
Yeah.
So
I
David
actually
Kemp.
I have this Timo Meyer quote really quickly. He says, I mean, you always want more, right? For me, I always want to win. You take less for that. God
Like,
damn it.
God
How do
damn it.
you
God damn it.
how do you say that? Like okay.
That's what Pasta said. That's what McKinnon said. I took a discount last time. I'll take a
Yeah,
discount next time.
Pasta straight up said I would play for free if I had
Yeah.
the chance.
But you hear what did the Leafs say? What did the Leafs player say? I like being a Leaf. I want to be a Leaf because being a Leaf means I can get paid a lot of money. They don't say I'll
what
take
it is.
less to be a Leaf. They say
Yeah.
I like being a Leaf as currently constituted, where I make
the
loads of
farthest
cash.
the farthest they go is I believe in this team. That's it.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
exactly. They
So
say, listen, you see how it is around here where we're making tons of money? We believe in that. I don't believe in change. I believe in being on the Leafs exactly how I am right now.
Like I'm
I
looking
sound
at
like a boomer, man. God
ugh.
damn it.
like
What's
like
happening to me?
like I have no, I don't blame you because I'm looking at the Devils cap friendly right now.
That's
Like,
what it's in comparison to
like
other teams that you just get destroyed.
how do you not salivate over Jack Hughes 8x8 or 8x7 now? Like that is
Heischer,
ridiculous.
7.25 for Heischer. Jesper Bride is making more than Nico Heischer. What the hell? And it's by 500K. They have four guys making under 9 million. That like their core four is Meyer, Hughes, Brad, and Heischer. How much worse is that than Matthews, Marner, Nylander, Tavares? There's an argument it's not worse and it's on par. And they're 26, 22, 24, and 24 years old. Our guys are 26, 26, 27, and 32.
And they have
I'm
term.
done. Okay, I need to stop. Let's talk David Kampf.
Yeah, David
David Kampf
Kampf, 2.4x2.
by
No,
four,
Jason
2.4 by
2.4x4.
four.
chasing the bag, David Camp, baby.
That's
Yeah.
That's
another
it.
one.
So
He got paid too.
he got paid, but my counter argument for this one is what does he get on the open market? Probably that or a little bit more. Um,
Yeah, if he's
you can
getting
also
two,
say though he didn't give us much of a discount to stay on the Leafs.
yeah,
That's the other side of the coin here. People are saying it's a slight overpay. I'm okay with the deal.
What's his
People are
term?
saying that if you're paying him like that, I'm even fine with the term. I think David Camp is 28. If that's him until 32. Brian, what was Lars Eller making for you guys as a
3.5.
30 as a 33-year-old, right? So
No,
I
like
think the wheels just fell off this year for Eller, no?
yeah, but where I'm
Okay.
going with this is you guys gave up the salary, like actual money, but you got term. Like
People are
term's
saying we
favorable.
didn't though. People think that we didn't. People think we gave him both. They think we gave him the annual average value and the term.
oh, I don't know how many people are gonna go 4 years with Camp. I'll be honest with you.
I probably would have.
Call me crazy. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, no,
He's
I,
28,
I
right?
agree. Yeah,
So people are saying 2.4 is crazy for a fourth line center. And the rebuttal to that is, oh, he's not going to be your fourth line center. He's going to be your third line center. And then people
He-
say, well, that's not good. So
yeah,
here's where I'm at on that. David Kampf is okay as your third line center if he is the third best player on that line. Why do I say that? Well, we have proof of it working. Last year, Ilya Mikheyev,
and
David
Pierre
Kampf,
Engvall.
Pierre Engvall. Really
Mhm.
good line. It was a really, really good line for us. We enjoyed it very much. He scored 11 goals on that line. And
Yeah,
he's great
he seemed to
defensively.
be the only one scoring on that line.
In the playoffs, especially, he had 2 goals for us against the
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Lightning and Vasilevsky, and they were snipes. They were goddamn snipes.
Short-handed. Oh man, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, that one
I
goes
love
down in
that.
that goes down in in Toronto Maple
Infamy.
Leafs
It is
folklore.
infamy.
That is
Yeah.
infamy right now, but that goes down
Yeah.
in Maple Leaf folklore if we get out of that series against Tampa because
Yeah.
how are you short-handed snipe on a breakaway against Andre Vasilevsky? Like, come on.
Yeah. I don't know how much we got to spend on David Kampf here.
No,
I
that's
like
about
him.
it.
It's fine.
But yeah,
It's
I
not
like him too.
it's nothing to salivate over. I think that's what we're going to be getting at here. If it's not like he's doing us a favor by taking 400K less, which would have been fantastic. But I have to say this on a human level, get your money, dude. Like, for somebody who when Kyle Dubas brought him in, a lot of people didn't even really a lot of people thought he was kind of out of the league. Like nobody really had interest in him.
I was like, who's this healthy scratch that we're getting?
Yeah, dude, he was a
On
like the fourth
on a
line
2-year
center.
deal.
He was the fourth line center with no goals on a bad Chicago Blackhawks team. There was not a lot of interest in him. Thankfully that Dubas took the chance and he's kind of flourished in Toronto. So good for him for making, what is it, close to $10 million over the next 4 years. So good for that. Good for him.
Yep. And good for us too, because we're just going on a quick break. Okay, we just got back from break. Let's just get into the next topic. Kent Hughes is doing what he does, taking bets on young promising players. They trade for Alex Newhook in exchange for, I think it was pick 31 and pick 37, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of like this. I kind of like the idea of instead of using the picks, you get, because at the end of the day, a draft pick's a not a known quantity. Meanwhile, Alex Newhook is a known quantity. I know he's never had a 20 goal season, but he's shown promise and he has won a cup, so good for him. I like the move for
I
Montreal.
I compared this, and not once again, not to make it about the Leafs. I'm just using it as comparable here. Um, I posed the question to you guys: would you rather have Alex Newhook or Rasmus Sandin? And I think we concluded that Rasmus Sandin's probably shown a little bit more, just because when he's been put into top four role, at least on Washington, he's performed. So I guess the equivalent is Washington is Montreal in this case. So if Newhook performs an elevated role, maybe it's a wash. But even I'd say if before you traded Sandin to Washington, I'd rather have Sandin. And so the Leafs got 28 for Sandin. Colorado got 31 and 37. That's a great piece of business by Colorado. Great piece of business. But I also really like it by Montreal. Like, I'm not saying that this is a bad deal for Montreal because they paid more than they would have for Sandin. It makes sense for both teams. And Newhook is not a local guy to Montreal, but it's about as close as he's going to get to local. He's a Newfoundland kid, I'm pretty sure. So he's probably really happy with this too. It's a great spot for him. Great spot.
So
Yeah,
oh,
I've got
David,
nothing. No, I was gonna say I've got nothing to say. I've liked. I think their cup run, like you mentioned before, Bry. He, I I think he had like a decent run. I could just remember him in the finals, kind of like speeding around Tampa a bit.
Fast, dude. He's a fast dude.
That is what you're getting. You are getting fast, pretty skilled, but somebody with, if he's
Straight
able
line
to
speed.
if he's able to find his finishing, I think, man, Montreal's got a great pick.
Dangerous.
Yeah. Let's see how he does now, and because he wasn't going to get top 6 minutes in Colorado. Let's be frank here, right? So if he gets elevated
They
minutes
tried.
in
So
Montreal,
they tried. He was
they
their original second line center solution to start the year, and it didn't go well.
It didn't go
Yeah.
well.
No.
So I know that technically Doc is now converted to right wing playing with Suzuki, but down the middle you have Suzuki, Doc, and potentially Newhook for the next 8 years. That's a pretty good combo. That's a pretty good
I
one,
think
2, 3.
I think you definitely convert one of them to a wing, but now you have options, and you can just see who you want to be a winger,
Fits.
Doc or Newhook, right? I think Suzuki's obviously locked in. But yeah, they've got options, and I hate Montreal because they make decisions that I like, and I don't like that.
And
I'm not a fan of that.
And I think the best part of this deal that like I want to emphasize the most is the idea that Newhook matches the timeline with their core. That first round pick probably won't be ready until what, like 2027? Okay, if that, right? But Newhook can be with Suzuki, Caulfield, Doc, Slavkovsky literally next year.
Fits seamlessly. Yep. Seamlessly.
Okay,
You want to talk about from Colorado's perspective and what they did with those assets?
I don't remember if they traded the 31 or the 37, but they traded one of them. Yeah, they traded 37 for Ross Colton.
It's a great deal.
Pretty good deal.
Yeah, really good deal.
Immediate upgrade on Newhook as well. I don't think it's a bad take if I say Ross Colton in this very moment at like today is better than Alex Newhook.
The Avs they traded away Newhook to get another roster player plus a prospect as well.
Yeah, specifically a better player in the moment. So okay, I am looking up the stats here. Last year Newhook, so this is 2 seasons ago, Newhook had 33 points. This year he had 30. 2 years ago Ross Colton had 39 points. And this year he had 32. So if we even want to say that they're comparables, if we want to say that they're a wash, you got a 31st overall pick plus Colton. Like, there's no way that's not a win.
The thing is, though, that they kind of bring 2 different styles to the game. I think Ross Colton's style for the amount of points that he put up is probably better because he plays more.
Yeah.
He's digging in there. He's getting into the corners. He's
large guy.
People. He is a big boy,
and we know he can play center. He's proven it.
And so for somebody who kind of has a bit more finesse to his game with Newhook, I think hitting back-to-back 30, just under 40-point seasons is not ideal. But maybe a change of scenery, going maybe a little bit closer to home, maybe just different factors going in. Maybe that's what takes Newhook from a 30-point player to a fringe 60-point guy.
It's the idea that Colorado gets a guy that's going to help them compete now. Meanwhile, Montreal get to bet on potential and get the opportunity to potentially have a 60 to 70-point guy in the future playing with their already fantastic core for the next how many years.
So
Win-win trade on
let's
all
say
fronts.
let's say the trade was 1-for-1, Newhook for Colton. That would make sense for both teams.
Yep.
Let's say it was I know Montreal doesn't have Colton. Even if it was Tampa, like my point is they're equal on value is what we've come to the conclusion of. Right?
It makes
Colton's
sense.
Colton's under he's an RFA. So they have his rights. He's gonna get signed to a deal. It's just when you consider that they also got a first round pick, that's crazy good value. Like that is just really good business by Avalanche.
Yeah, I'm a fan of what they did. Joe Sakic once again showing that he's a top tier GM, if not the best GM in the league, I'd say.
You know what's crazy is he's not even the GM anymore. He's done like the Masai Ujiri thing where he's
really?
the president. He's the
I had
president,
no
and
idea.
so their Bobby Webster is a guy named Chris McFarland. So yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I actually
He
didn't.
was-
I thought Sakic was just GM the whole time.
This
Was he
happened. This
not-
happened right after they won the cup. By the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was he
Yeah.
not a GM before that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that makes
Okay.
sense.
Yeah.
You guys want to do Hayes or do you guys want to do Hall?
I mean, I think we can go pretty quick on both of them. The Hayes thing, I was always saying, if you're getting him at full cap hit, $7 million for 3 years,
No.
that's an L trade for St. Louis when you could have got Ryan Johansson for 4x2, but they didn't. They got him at 50% retained. So you could have Hayes for 3.5 for 3 years, or Ryan Johansson for 2 years at $4 million. Pretty good. I do think, Brian, you've convinced me. I think Johansson, I'd probably do lean Johansson. I was saying Hayes at first, but looking at the numbers, probably Johansson's a better bet. Hayes is less injury prone. That's the only thing.
Caveat. Yeah.
And I will also say Ryan Johansson strikes me more as a Colorado Avalanche, and Kevin Hayes seems
As
like
more
more of a
blue.
St. Louis Blue,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
That big body down the middle. What is he, like 6'5" or 6'6"?
he's large. That's it.
He's
Just
a
extra
big boy.
large. Okay.
That is a
And,
large man.
I wonder if that signals no Ryan O'Reilly reunion in St. Louis.
I think that's probably.
I think Kevin Hayes is probably a good replacement there. Yeah. So 3 players, basically free, 6th-round pick for Kevin Hayes. Tough to really be mad with it, other than Brad. Brad, do some of that.
I'm surprised more teams weren't in on it because for free I know it's not for free, a 6th-round pick, sure, whatever.
It's
but
half
you-
off. You got to buy one get one deal for
Yeah.
Kevin Hayes, basically.
It's whatever it is. It's a great deal. It's cheap as hell.
Yeah.
It's clearance. Okay, they paid clearance for Kevin Hayes.
Is he?
Yeah.
Does he become St. Louis's 2C right now? Probably,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
On
So they also
3.5?
have Shen, right? And then do they put Robert? I think they have Robert Thomas at center, right? And
I
Kyron
think
on
he's
the
their
wing.
1C.
Okay, so
Robert
they've got
Thomas,
options though. They've got options. Yeah,
But that's what I mean. Like, dude, 3.5 for your 2C right now is something that you
That's
don't see.
great.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Full marks on both,
Let's talk
and
about
also good for Philly.
yes, cap space.
Cap
Okay.
space.
Let's talk about the draft whisperer himself, Mr. Taylor Hall, going to Chicago with his buddy Nick Foligno to Chicago. Gets to play with.
Dude,
Crazy.
that is the most insane stat. It's like what is it? 7 times he's been on the
played.
same team since 2010
And
with
the 8th is
first overall
himself.
pick. Yeah, and he's a former first overall pick as well. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, it's also not a compliment. I don't think it's a compliment, man.
No.
You know what? For this instance, I have to say I am really big on Taylor Hall and Connor Bedard playing together, dude.
I'm
listen,
cool
I
with
don't
it
think
too. I am.
I don't think that they're gonna make the play. Like I know I was kind of like, yeah, they could. There's a chance. Like it's a weak Central Division, I would say still. Wild card, I don't know, probably
It
not.
depends on Bedard.
so-
like if he's a 110-point player right out of the gate,
Ooh,
they'll
I
make
don't
the
know
playoffs.
about-
If he's
I don't know
only a
about that.
70-point player, they'll make the playoffs right out of the gate. Sorry, they won't make the playoffs.
So Chicago right now, after the Bailey trade, I just want to make sure that's been put in on cap friendly. It has been put in on cap friendly. They still have $22 million in
My
cap space, boys.
good lord.
$22 million. That's with the
Like,
Foligno deal. That's with
they-
Taylor Hall.
They can
That's
legitimately
with Josh Bailey.
they can be
They are-
competitive tomorrow if they really want. Sorry,
So
July
they
1st
are
if they wanted to.
So
adding-
here's the,
they are
here's the
adding-
thing.
talent. Like
I want you guys to tell me how many players does Colorado, this is goalies, defensemen, forwards, how many players does Colorado have under contract for 25, 26? So that is 3 seasons from now. So after 2 full seasons, that third season, how many
Are
players
you
are
including
under
Bedard or no?
contract?
yeah, is Bedard.
Well,
That's
okay,
one.
so Bedard hasn't signed a contract yet, so let's
Yeah,
not
but-
include Bedard on his rookie deal.
Okay.
Let's fine, include him, whatever.
I know-
Free
I know
space.
for certain
it's
Jacob
one.
Murphy is there until
It's that's Jones.
27,
Oh yeah,
28.
Murphy too. Yeah,
so
Jones
2.
and Murphy. It's 2.
So that's it. Those are the only 2 players under contract for more than 2 years for the Chicago Blackhawks. Seth Jones at 9.5 each.
Yeesh.
Connor Murphy at 4.4 for 3 seasons. So he's done it after 25, 26. If that Jones contract wasn't there, this is another team, perfect cap sheet by virtue of they have nobody. But like guys, they are basically going to have as close as you can get to a clean slate roster in 2 years. They can do whatever the hell they want, trade for whatever the hell
With
they
the
want,
generational
sign
talent.
whoever they have set themselves up very nicely. And this is after Kyle Davidson had a pretty shitty summer last year in terms of getting Peter Mrazek for not much. I would say like they didn't really get much to take him on. And also the DeBrincat deal, we were like, is that really the best you could get? I don't think we were too happy with the DeBrincat deal. He's set himself up really nicely.
It kind of just seems like it was fire sale, like whatever you can, like first buyer,
Yeah,
come on down,
Yeah.
basically, right?
So
guys,
and
if it
I'm
wasn't for that
tempted-
Seth Jones deal, it's an incredible job. he's
I'm
done.
tempted
But
to
he needs that
say-
for the floor.
Yeah, I'm tempted to say, Brad, if San Jose didn't work out, trading for Mackenzie Blackwood, there's another
I'm looking
partner
right
again.
now. They don't have a goal. They've got Peter Mrazek and nobody.
I legitimately think if they get Matt Murray, they might be relatively competitive. I think Matt Murray still has something to give.
Yeah. So
I'll be honest
here's
with
our
you.
problem. This is a problem for Leafs. The Josh Bailey trade. It was a second attached to Bailey, right?
Yes.
oh, the
So
first
only
round's
6
over.
seconds.
Yeah.
It's
Okay. Well,
it's over, boys.
so a second attached to Bailey, who makes $5 million for just this 1 year. Murray makes 4 point something for just this 1 year. We don't have a second round pick. So
For the next
unless
how
it's
long?
happening for a third, the ship might have sailed, man. At
But
least like it'll look stupid if it happens.
Yeah.
It could still happen. But if I'm a GM on the phone, I'm like, you want me to take Matt Murray? Where's your second round pick? You don't have one? Okay, see you later. That's the end of the conversation now.
Oh,
Hopefully otherwise.
well,
Hopefully otherwise.
okay. In regards to Chicago, I just wanted to say that Kyle Davidson is doing God's work. Did you guys see that interview?
I've only heard about it and I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's so good.
The only
It's-
quote I heard is that he said something like, "Some people don't think I know what I'm doing."
Yeah.
But I need the
They asked
context
him.
for like how this went down. The way that I'm understanding it is that like there was reporters on the street and they
Yep.
stopped him and they thought he
So-
was a random guy.
Yep. Are you a Blackhawks
Supposedly-
fan? Yeah.
Supposedly they are
Cool,
like a
cool.
Blackhawks podcast too. So
Oh,
that's like
no.
us.
No.
Not knowing-
I know what Brad Tree Living looks like. I have a
Yeah.
general
And Dubas,
dude, if it was Kyle Dubas walking on the street, we would know. Like all 3 of
Shanny.
us would know. But like, yeah, well, Shanny's got a distinctive face, I would say. But dude, like the GM of the team that you kind of cover, you can't really.
Yeah.
I know Kyle
you
Davidson
can have
looks
a
like a
podcast about
generic.
a team.
But
Dude,
Dave, do you know
Kyle
what Brian
Davidson
McLeod
is
looks like?
generic. No, but Kyle Davidson is generic white man in his 30s. So
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
so fair, but Brian, like you said Brian McClellan, but we don't I don't specifically follow
Yeah.
the Caps. You know what
That's
I mean?
true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like these guys,
All you
cover
have
the
to do to know what your GM looks like is like read an article because the headline picture is them, right?
Yeah.
Like, how many times is it that Dubas picture at that one press conference where he's got one hand on his
Or
glasses
the two
with a
phones
smirk?
Dubas picture.
Exactly. Like, so no,
But
not
guys,
really any good excuses.
the,
I guess the comparable is like Ross Atkins as the Jays GM. Like, maybe some Jays fans wouldn't recognize Ross Atkins. I could see that. I could see
so
that. That's
so
a
Dave,
fair.
um, oh shit, what was I gonna say? I completely forgot. Oh, sorry, boys, I lost my train of thought. But
My bad.
yeah, that's gonna bother me later, but it's okay. Um,
We'll get it back.
oh,
We'll get it
I
back.
do remember. I do remember. So at the end of the interview, they ask Kyle Davidson, "Do you believe that the draft lottery was rigged?" He looks into the camera and he's like, "No."
Dude, how funny if he
I
looked
did
into the
not know
camera.
that. I
Yeah.
haven't seen. I need to watch this for real.
It's
No,
so
it's
funny
it's good.
because
Oh my
in
God.
hindsight,
Yeah.
those guys are like if you're looking back and you're like, oh dude, that was the GM of the Blackhawks. Like, dude, what if Kyle Davidson grabbed the mic from this guy and was like, it was rigged. It was rigged. I did it myself. You know,
He
I
might
had direct contact with Gary Bettman or something like
i-
that.
if he did that and it got out, like the organization would have been fined like to hell and back.
Yeah.
It's like he did. He played it well. Like he literally showed that like he knows what he's doing in that
Yeah.
interview by playing around
Yeah,
like that.
he took it in jest because he was like, they asked him,
He knew what
they're
was
like,
going on. He's like,
what's
these
your
guys have no idea who I am.
they're like what would you rate your hockey knowledge on? And this
Like a
guy's like
7. I'm a pretty big fan.
No, he said a 4. He's like, some people don't like seem to think that I don't know what I'm talking about. Like he said, he made a like a sneaky comment that it's like, if you were just a regular person on the street, you'd be like, okay, that's a bit of a
Yeah.
weird statement. But with context, it's like, yeah, because over the past 12 months, everybody was like, this guy like tore down the team, got really nothing in return, like we just said before. So he's probably gotten a lot of shit over the past 12 months to make him feel like that. But you know,
That's
he
funny,
definitely knows
man.
what he's doing 100%. It's just
To
so
be,
funny.
to be fair though, Dave is right. The typical white guy in a suit
Oh,
in his 30s.
so white. Like it, like
Guys,
he is
You put him in New York and he's on Wall Street. Like
yeah.
how good does
he
this
looks
rebuild look if they did the Knives trade, the Fleury Knives thing? Thank God that didn't happen. Thank
oh,
God.
they'd be a dynasty.
Thank God
Thank
we have
God.
Knives. Thank God we
Oh,
have Knives. My
thank
God.
God.
Wait, hold on. Okay, so earlier I just realized. So Christian, you said that the guy that you just drafted goes to the top of your prospect pool. Does this mean you're graduating Nice out of the prospects? Like,
Yeah.
is he
Yeah,
a
he's a
Dude,
full-time
he's
NHLer.
full time. This guy might
Okay.
play on the Nev first line, man. Like, it's,
okay? That's true.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I think that's everything. Unless you, yeah, that's everything.
Yeah.
Okay. No breaking news, right? Nothing.
I don't think
Nothing
crazy has
anything right
happened.
now.
I honestly haven't checked my phone since we started,
Yeah.
but
I'll take a
let's-
quick
let's-
look for you guys, but I think we should be
A couple picks have happened. I'm trying to see if I notice it.
Oh,
No,
actually,
these are names.
actually,
Guys, we got
Jack
we do
Quinn.
have something. Oh, what happened to Jack Quinn? What?
Jack Quinn will be out 6 months because
Oh,
Oh man.
surgery.
that's a tough
Achilles
one.
tendon, yeah.
Okay. I don't know how fast we can do this, boys, but we had a couple predictions.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I think we just run through them
I'm
because
0 for 3.
0 for 3,
I'm
Dave?
1 for 3.
Congrats, Dave. You are the best. Let's go,
Yeah.
Dave, man.
What was the
So-
one that hit?
Yeah.
I said that either Hannafin or Toffoli would be traded before, like for the draft. I had the intention of them
We have a
being
trade to
traded.
announce.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be one of those, but it was technically draft
You
day.
still get the mark, Dave. You get
So
the mark, buddy.
I'll give myself a half mark for that at least.
Yeah, you get.
I
the
kind of
mark
wanted
for
to see
that.
both of them go. That would have given me. I would have been like, wow, like I know
I mean,
we
hey,
heard about it,
If
but
Hannafin happens today, still like you get that point too, right? That's
I
it.
will give myself another half point just because it's
Yeah.
day 2. Like my intention was both of them being traded draft night.
Yeah.
That was, or one of
Yeah.
the two being traded draft night. That was my intention. So I will give myself maybe a half mark, but yeah, it was a tough one.
It was tough. My goalie, my 90%er, that a goalie gets drafted first round. He's still on the board, hasn't got picked yet.
Man,
Get on
that's
it,
crazy.
guys. Somebody
That's
take him.
crazy
6
we
foot
haven't
7,
got-
man.
Yeah. I thought
No goalie.
somebody maybe 25, like especially
How about
because
San
the
Jose?
Leafs, especially because the Leafs went off the board kind of with their pick. you would think somebody like in the I don't know, like
Team San Jose made so much sense, man.
who does
Even St.
Colorado
Louis, like, does
have?
St. Louis have a prospect? Like, not really.
I'm trying to think, like 28 to 32. Like Vegas, does Vegas need supplemental support? Probably
I hate
not.
I hate to say this, but like I just think that like Colorado and Vegas have just ruined the ideas of like generational goalies for like a long time. That like the past
It's
incumbents,
possible.
they literally won with Darcy Kemper and Aiden Hill. Like
Yeah,
But here's the
that's true.
thing, though. Here's the thing, though. If you fall onto a generational goaltender, are you gonna be
yeah, that's true.
upset about it?
Yeah.
No,
My
I still like
defenseman pick was gone in the first for literally the guys who we thought were going top four, Fantilli, Carlson, Smith, Bedard. The very next pick, defenseman. So that was already an L. And two defensemen in the top 10. I had 0. So and then the Leafs, Brad did not pick up the phone. So
I thought Montreal was going to draft Leonard, my 90 was that they're going to draft for the US program. I also thought there was a chance they would have went Smith if they had the chance. Obviously he went right before. The Capitals did not move up. And my super parlay, no trades happened. So okay.
Oh, that was such a
Yikes.
tough one too.
yeah.
At the time, it was believable. At the time, in the moment, up until the point where the draft ended, it was like, okay, can a trade happen? But no, I don't know.
It's true.
I
There's
think
usually
only
something in the bottom 20, like from 20
Yeah.
to 30, something happens, right?
Bro, even for Brian, like even just a trade would have worked. For me, I had at 50%, I had one of the top 10 picks would be traded, and I was close because supposedly Nashville was sniffing around, right? How that would have changed, you know, maybe I would have went 2 for 3. But I know my 10%, I was like, dude, I'm reaching. This one was one of those. It's a 10% that I said, but it's probably closer to like 5 or like 1 with Mitchkov being drafted too. But I have to say I will give myself some sort of prop just on the fact that Anaheim picked, so Pat Verbeek kind of went a bit off the board to what everybody else was saying. So because that was the knowledge that I had heard, that Pat isn't gonna, you know, whatever you say Pat is gonna do, Pat might not do it because that's
Pat's
the way
the
Pat
contrarian.
thinks. Pat is the contrarian, and maybe it works out for Pat, right? We'll see. But the contrarian pick that I had Pat doing went 7, so that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But what are you gonna do?
Free agency on Saturday, boys. That's the next one on the schedule.
Man,
Free agency on Saturday. And then I guess that's it. I guess we're off unless something happens, unless a Chuck trade happens in the middle of August again.
They better have everything done by July 6th. Like July 6th is my cutoff.
I agree.
Dude. After that, don't do anything till like mid-August or like late August.
Whenever the Bob father says sayonara,
Yeah,
I'm drinking margaritas at
when
my
he's
cottage,
going up to the
that's when I-
Cotty. Yeah, 100%.
See you later.
Everybody should follow the Bob father and just stop what they're
Yes.
doing after he says, "Okay, that's it."
But we might be back next year. Yeah, we'll probably be back next year.
Oh, we'll be back next year, but we'll see in a couple of weeks if we're gonna be back.
If the Leafs like do the worst things ever, then no, maybe I might have to retire, guys, after 1 year. It's a one and done. But no, I'm joking.
Could you imagine if
even if it's a
Nylander?
tire fire?
Could you imagine if Nylander gets like a 11x1 and then Matthews requests a trade?
Yeah.
Like,
To be honest, like Toronto sports radio is at its best when the teams are burning down. And so same with
Good
podcasts.
content.
Like it's great content. You guys not remember me and Dave? Like Dave remembered going ballistic after an Anaheim loss. That would always go down.
That was episode 5, dude.
that was the most important loss of your season.
That was.
Yes, it was. So if we had a full season of that, Jesus Christ.
Didn't Zegras do something crazy that game?
Probably.
I
literally have no memories of that game.
Was that an OT loss or did we get pounded?
We coughed up a lead and I think we lost an OT. We still technically picked up a point. We picked up a point against Anaheim that game, but you know that's a loser point. That's a pity point.
Okay,
oh,
we're gonna end it there.
Good times.
Yes.
Hopefully next year we have more memories like that. Like I would say we had.
I hated this season. This is the worst season of my life. Like,
I
right,
don't know. Yeah, I mean,
right.
realistically, we still have to say it was the best season for me and Dave. A round win is a round win, and we've been
Yeah.
asking for that for goddamn ever. So
We didn't make the playoffs. I didn't get the prospect I wanted. We missed out on Bedard. Um, half my
Yeah, but
team was
it's
injured.
okay because next year, Bry, Ovi scoring 60 and he's breaking the goal record. So
let's
Um,
save some of this reminiscing for what should be our last episode, unless
yeah.
crazy things go down in the summer.
my
Because yeah,
my,
we
my
still
Please
got one
God,
more to
no.
go.
the highlight of my season was literally the Hershey Bears. It wasn't even the Capitals. Like,
It was after it was like we just looked at our phones and be like, oh yeah, the Hershey Bears are in the finals. Oh yeah, there's a game
yeah,
7.
woo.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's
Okay.
all right, Brian.
Uh,
If this is rock bottom, it's not rock bottom. But anyways, things can go up from here, Brian. So
Shout out to Fubo TV. Shout out to Razor, NHLShop.ca. If you want to get your Washington Capitals Ryan Leonard jersey, that's where to get it.
wow,
All the best.
that's kind of disrespectful to the Blackhawks who picked number 1. Like if
They
you want
also
a
picked number. They
Chicago
also picked
Blackhawks.
Chicago Blackhawks number 19th overall pick, Oliver Moore. All right.
Get a Connor Bedard jersey. I'm thinking of doing it. I'll be honest with you,
Really?
and I'd consider it.
he's I think he's gonna be like the most popular like athlete like social media wise for hockey. 'Cause
Oh,
I think
he's so good.
he's got just
Yeah.
enough personality, and I think that he's gonna really attract like the Gen Z
Oh,
crowd. Like you
dude.
know, like the kids that are like 14 and 15 are gonna be like
Yeah.
Connor Bedard is great. Like they're
Bedsy.
he's gonna be
Bedsy's gonna take over.
David wasn't that for us
Dude,
because he just didn't like play
that's
into it.
the
But
thing. Here's the thing. In
yeah,
terms of top talent, dude, what was the bar with McDavid? You had to step
Yeah.
over the bar.
like it's Bedard is gonna be up here. I think Matthews is like here, but
Yeah.
David's like down here. If you want to just look at the past generational guys. So yeah, okay, that was
Okay,
fun,
yeah,
guys.
I'll give in. If you guys want to get a Connor Bedard jersey and your Oliver Moore jerseys for Chicago Blackhawks, you can get them at NHLShop.ca. We'll end it there. Bye.